What's going on, my people? It's your boy E here. This is the Proverbial Life. Hope everyone's having a good day. So this morning, I got to talk about it, man. Black Lives Matter. The Black Lives Matter movement and some of the thoughts that I have concerning the movement. So for those of you who don't know, I used to be a Black Lives Matter proponent. And what triggered it for me was the whole Colin Kaepernick thing. Around that time, I also was triggered by many of the video clips that went out viral and the quote-unquote unarmed black men being killed. Now I say quote-unquote not because I'm making mockery of black men or anyone in general being killed by cops. I'm not advocating for that. That's not cool. But what I mean by quote-unquote is oftentimes what the media likes to spin or gives us the mirage of is that black men are being disproportionately killed, and they're being killed and they're unarmed. Okay, those things need to be defined on a case-by-case basis, because someone charging a police officer and attempting to grab his gun and take his life is no longer an unarmed individual. And so there are different scenarios that need to be considered. That being said, it's never okay that anyone is killed, period. But when someone is killed for doing an injustice, that is why there are principles of justice in place. Okay? So all that being said, I used to be a big proponent of the Black Lives Matter movement. I was emotionally moved by the Colin Kaepernick scenario where he took a knee, for the rights of unarmed black men. And this is my issue. My issue is that Black Lives Matter, the Black Lives Matter movement, only matters to social justice warriors when it fits the narrative of a white officer killing an quote-unquote unarmed black man. Otherwise, it doesn't matter. And that is hypocrisy. That is showing partiality. That is racist. And it has an agenda that is evil. Listen, we have to be fair, regardless of a person's skin color. Regardless, right? Black people aren't innocent by virtue of the color of their skin, and white people aren't guilty by virtue of the color of their skin. We need to take these situations on a case-by-case basis and judge fairly, not on the basis of someone's skin color, but on the content or the context of a situation. And when we don't do that, we're showing partiality. And for those of you who are Christians, that is the last thing we ought to be doing. We are to judge rightly. We are to judge fairly, not based on the color of someone's skin. That's evil. That's wicked in the sight of the Lord. And so the reason why I'm talking about this is, man, I've been getting a lot of messages from people who know I'm not woke. I'm woke, but I'm not woke in the way they define it. I'm awakened to the reality that oftentimes the media has spun this racial narrative to create division among us in the black and Hispanic communities, right? The person of color community. And oftentimes it's politically driven for us to flee away from the Constitution and to hand over our rights to the liberals and to hand over our rights to the Democrats. Okay? And I'm not even saying, listen, or vote Republican or do that. I'm saying, listen, the fact of the matter is that there is an agenda to emotionally sway people to vote a certain way. Whether you agree with voting or voting Republican or that's the fact of the matter. And so we need to be informed, right? We need to be informed that there have been tricks and all kinds of tactics to deceive the minds of the masses who are ignorant to the facts. And as long as we remain ignorant to the facts, we will vote ignorantly, we will think ignorantly, and one of the ways we do so on a practical level is by looking at things on a surface level of skin color. I got a message from someone this past week on IG. They sent me a message of this young lady, young girl, black young girl. She, this is an old video, you might have seen it, but this young girl is approached by the president. There's some event taking place, and the president comes to take a picture with her. And she says something to the effect of, you are a disgrace to America. And she refuses to take a picture. Where did she learn that from? Where did she learn that from? Where have people from the black and Hispanic community come to the point, or their minds, to understand that Trump is a disgrace to America, when President Trump has done more for the black and Hispanic community, especially the black community, than any other president in history? Way more, especially more than number 44, Barack Obama. But do you know why Barack Obama is seen as next to kin than Jesus, like the Messiah? Do you know why? Not because of the policies that he had, not because of all that he did for the black community. In fact, under the Obama administration, there were more abortions than any other, presidency. Like, why? Why is Obama hailed? Because he's black. That's it. He's black. And my friends, we cannot think that way. We cannot think that way. We have to be fair in our judgments. And why is President Trump a racist? Why? Because he's white. Because he's white. And because he's brass. And he says things that you would not say, or says them in the way that you would not say them. And he's taken out of context oftentimes. I didn't vote for Trump. But guess what? 2020, I'm voting for President Trump. Why? Because I think he's the best candidate that we have. And because, as best as possible, not saying he's without flaws, not saying he's a Christian, but as best as possible, he is seeking to uphold the Constitution. And brothers and sisters, that is what we as followers of Christ want. But more importantly, that is what we need. We need our rights and our liberties protected because they have been given to us by God. And as Americans, that's what we desire as well. So, all that being said, I reject the Black Lives Matter movement. I love black lives. I love all lives. But I reject the narrative of the Black Lives Matter movement. Do I want to see injustice done away with? Absolutely, and we need to stand for it. All of us need to play our role in our community. We need to do our part. But we cannot say, because person A is white, that he's a racist. Person B is black, therefore he is the oppressed. And he is the one who is due all these beneficiary acts because on based on the basis of his skin. We can't think that way. We can't live that way, because that is showing partiality, and that is wicked in the sight of the Lord. That's my morning rant. Until next time, look to Christ, live wisely, leave a legacy behind. Grace and peace. Leave a comment below. All right, y'all. Peace.